Beretta.
Yes, what it do. You know who it is. It's your man Beretta. I'd like to welcome you to this latest episode of The Mind of Beretta. I'm going to try a little something different here. I originally recorded an episode a couple of weeks ago with my man Creed from the Elder Youth. You know, basically what we usually do, we rant and talk about stupid shit that we see. But I like his viewpoint on it. And if I just want to peek behind the curtain just a little bit for everybody to see, I'd like to consider this man as sort of an alter ego, maybe even sort of that one guy that when you start to bugging a little too much, he kind of reins you in a little bit. You know, one of those type things. But, of course, you know, our conversations are always lively. Sometimes we get on our bullshit, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I like talking to him, you know, like bringing him to my listeners. So we're going to get into that in just a second. But first, I wanted to start off by going over a tweet that I happened to send out, sometime last week. But it was something that was on my mind, and actually, I'd like to get you guys' input on it. So, as always, you can hit me up. You can get at me on Twitter and on Instagram at Beretta Beats. Let me know if I'm straight wildin' or if I got some kind of validity to this. But at any rate, I sent this tweet out into the Twitter sphere, like I said last week. And it goes a little something like this. Random thought for this morning. 1. Who gave white people the authority to speak for black people? 2. Why do black people allow other white people to speak for us? 3. When will black folk come to the realization that most white people don't have our backs? Okay. I know that might be a little strong. That might be a little, I don't know, controversial, maybe a little problematic. So what? These were some thoughts that I had. And just real quick, I just wanted to put something out there that maybe a lot of people haven't thought of. Okay. 1, now this part people have already thought of. We black people, we need to stand together. We need to unite as one. Maybe that way we will get a lot of things accomplished that will help us further our advancement in this crazy, messed up country that we still got to deal with on a daily basis. But the problem that I've seen throughout my life, and I know a lot of you that are black that are listening to this have seen the same thing. We tend to see certain of our lighter shaded brothers and sisters, translation white, they want to come in and they want to tell us what we need to do and what we should be doing. And the thought kind of just dawned on me after a while, well, who in the hell gave them the authority to speak for us? Okay, there's a lot of people that are willing to say Jesse Jackson don't speak for us. There's a lot of other people that are willing to say that Al Sharpton doesn't speak for us either. Or insert said older, wiser, civil rights era figure here. And I mean, I get that. I mean, there's a lot of younger people, for whatever reason, they feel the necessity to just say, screw history, we're going to make our own history. And I mean, I don't know, I guess that's the way we were, except for one small problem. We actually did listen to our elders, and we actually did take notes on what they were saying, and we actually started the process, or should I say the continuation of the process of us getting towards financial, I guess you could say economic, empowerment, and reclaiming a sense of ourselves that has been stripped by said colonizers for time immemorial. But again, it just goes back to a question, like I said, who gave them the right to speak for us? Somebody actually responded to me with this simple sentence. It was taken. Well, yeah, we understand that. Not dissing anything about his response to me, but yeah, we knew that it was taken from us. And the point of it is, of really me even putting that tweet out there and the successive thread that went along with it, the point is that we need to take it back. We need to take our voice back. We need to empower ourselves to say, hey, we don't need anyone to speak for us. We can speak for ourselves. Now, you're starting to see that a little bit here with the younger generation, but I'm just kind of curious as to at what cost. Because, and I'll get into this in a later podcast, because this is something that will not go away, obviously, so it's always going to be on my mind. But it's one of those things where we constantly find ourselves having to defend ourselves and what we want as a people from everybody else. Just something that kind of crossed my mind. But at any rate, I'll let the show commence. Any rate, this is the Mind of Beretta. This is episode 12, The Rantings of Mad Men, with my boy Creed from the Elder Youth. And, oh, by the way, some parts of this conversation are going to go sideways. That's kind of usually what happens. Anyway, let's get it in.
It's your man Beretta.
Recording. Now we're recording.
This is a good year, 2018.
Yeah.
Nice. Good year.
Oh, by the way, we're back. Welcome to the second season of The Mind of Beretta. It's your man Beretta. You know me.
Skirt.
That dude that said skirt right there. That is your man Creed from the Elder Youth. What's good, everybody?
Skirt.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but guess what? We're back, and we hope to give you a lot more episodes of a lot more bullshit. So, with that said, Um, it was something I was thinking about before we even had this part of the conversation a little bit earlier.
Duff beer.
Yeah, Duff beer, and that wasn't a conversation. We had started a conversation basically about LL Cool J and two of his seminal albums, Mama Said Knock You Out and Walking with a Panther. And of course, my dumbass, first question I decided to ask was, which one do you like better? To which this very smart individual right here replied,
There is no better. You like what you like.
yeah, okay. Well,
I had a long debate with somebody the other day, about who the best MC was. I was like, there's no best. I don't care how dope you get, because you're either a product of the influences that came before you, which technically you could call them better because they influenced you where you probably wouldn't have thought to go. Or, I mean, you can go by an outline consensus, outline list of an outline of consensus standards, by which you couldn't always adhere, because, I just think sometimes the consensus sucks. It's, especially by today's standards. I think, well, maybe more so by yesterday's standards. So I don't know who better best is. You could run, people can run the gamut on all your regulars. Who are your three regulars? Is Biggie, Pac, Eminem. And then people, will occasionally throw, of course, throw Rakim. Some people throw Coogee Rap.
Yeah, but
and then they'll go from there.
Unfortunately, some of these cats, some of these young kids out here, they don't even want to acknowledge anybody like Rakim or Coogee Rap. Basically, the ones that you hearing all the time are Jay-Z, Biggie, Pac. Sometimes you can throw Nas in there.
I usually, most of the times, between Pac and Eminem, which that's cool. I mean, look, I don't disagree with the greatness of anything. I just can't call anybody a greatest. You can sit there and say, well, this guy has this many records, this guy has this much popularity. Cool. If you rate it by that, then really that only leaves Biggie, Pac, Eminem, Jay-Z, and then you could throw in other big sellers. I mean,
yeah,
might even be to throw in, I don't know.
Yeah, but actually, you just brought up the entire point of why I was thinking about this. So, for a little bit of context, since we, kind of just jumped in the conversation, of course, this was so 2017,
right,
where people were coming out with their, top 20, top 50, top whoever.
I can't. I can do it. I can go, because I'm going to have my rankings according to just who I like to listen to. And everybody's not going to be considered in the realm of the dopest, but it's who I like. And it's not unfair for me to impose my favorites as the best. Now, if my favorites are, some of my favorites fall into the consensus, because all the guys aforementioned are, among people I listen to, one of them ain't somebody I listen to as much as the others, but it got all my praise and accolades, but it's just not somebody I want to listen to like that.
Right.
I'm not gonna name who. I'm not in the mood for the debate, but I don't know, T. I mean, because I love, why people naming all those cats, and they'll throw in. Listen, the art of the lyricist. If I just put what I do, I do agree with certain consensus for lyricism, with a certain consensus in regards to like lyrical content or whatever you call it, or styling. Yeah, I'm gonna throw in my my mantras and my black thoughts, and my Royce Jesus.
Right.
Definitely Slaughterhouse, period. But then I'm going to throw in, I'm a Q-Tip fan, I'm a Guru fan, I'm a DJ Quick fan, hard to the core. I'm a Corrupt fan, hard to the motherfucking core. So, like, you throw them cats in, some of you like, man, you crazy. Like, shit. You ask me, anybody say otherwise is half deaf or fully retarded. But
and therein lies.
I apologize. I have to apologize. No, the retarded remark. Take that back.
Oh man, look, therein lies the whole point.
Yeah.
Okay, how are you going to make a completely objective list of top this, top that? But again, we both agree on that. You can't do it.
It's
all
art.
Subjective.
It's art. I'm gonna say here. You're not gonna say here. Not you per se, my G, but like, I'm not gonna sit here and comic. Jeez, that's my dude. I listen to that dude religiously. Like, but like, I'm just saying, like, how can I just can't. I don't want to impose that. I would implore people to take a listen to these cats and add them to your playlist occasionally because they got great music worth listening. But the standards. See, the standards have changed. I don't want to go so far to say that they lowered because there's so many cats that are very talented that's out. But a lot of them, with the exception of a select few that most people will voice today, a lot of them are lyrically lazy. They don't want to think outside of the box. That's if they had a capacity to think outside the box.
That's true.
And that's not a diss to them. It's just the way it goes.
Hey, young fuckity fucks. Listen to the words that this man is speaking because he's actually making sense. You sitting up here worried about, they're the GOAT, they're the best, this, that, and the third. You're only 20 years old. How in the hell do you know what the GOAT is?
I tell you, coldest lyricist, Stevie Wonder.
Agreed. Now, on to something else that I just thought about. As you can tell, since we haven't been on for a while, I got a lot of shit on my mind. Okay.
Well, defecate, Holmes.
Okay.
Just not on me.
No, you're over there, so no, I'm not going to do that. But at any rate, so what you think about that cat out there in Sacramento that got shot at 20 times, got hit 8 times, in his grandmother's backyard, because he had a cell phone in his hand?
The Constitution has been rendered null and void, and the freedom that these cops express is beyond what some people deem as a fear reaction that's been made in part of their intuitive makeup. BS. I think the Constitution has been rendered null and void. It just has not been addressed to the public in order to prevent a complete anarchy.
Well, I'm glad you're being real.
So a lot of these so-called constitutionalists, as much as they want to stand for it, there's a reality. And one guy got mad at me. I said the Constitution doesn't exist. There was even, I tell you something funny. There was a news report several years, and see, you gotta watch the news. Let them feed you the BS, but put on your filter, because once you filter through it, they throw the truth in the middle of all of that. You know what I'm saying? And they're telling you stuff, but most of the stuff they're telling is what's not being spoken. It's being suggested by what's being presented.
Right. By the way, I'm glad you're being real politically nice about this, because when I'll let you finish. Go ahead. But
come on, man. It's your show.
No, but I'm getting ready to let loose. So you go on ahead and finish.
Handle that. Okay. What's dig? Nah, listen. I'll finish this. The report. They reported a woman in Cleveland. It could be a lie. The whole story could be a lie. So the question you have to ask is why they even told this random story that really went nowhere, but yet it went a lot of places. There's a story of a woman who got pulled, and this is on I want to say it was on CBS. I wish I remember what year, but it was within the last like 7 years, 8 years. One was pulled over in Cleveland by a highway patrol officer.
Okay.
Lady said, "I know my constitutional rights. You can't." The cop asked her, I guess, to step out, or was trying to search the car, something of that ballpark. Look, I know my rights. I know my constitutional rights. You can't do that. Something to that effect. Police officer responds, "There is no constitution, ma'am. Get out the car." Now, the question I had to ask is, why are they reporting this? Mind you, I'm sober at the time. Mind you, I'm wide awake, getting ready for it. I'm like,
okay,
whoa. And this came several years after they announced the future elimination of the American government infrastructure as a result of the pact that was signed not long ago between the governments of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, which I also heard on the news. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm like, and listen to the news early in the morning is the best. Around 2 or 3 in the morning, if you could catch at CBS Morning News when they really started jumping off, man, they let some stuff fly. I don't know. Nowadays, it's more BS, but even among the BS, even among the 99% BS, out of the 100% of total news that they throw out, you'll occasionally catch them saying some craziness. But that's the stuff that really needs to be heeded. And then the underlying statements. Because naming all this, just like with the 9/11, nobody looked at the underlying statement. And then they did a report of shortly after 9/11, they did several stations did a report on where these guys got their funding to do what they did. So my point is, then they raised the question: should we impose more security measures to prevent people from being able to gather the funds to do this shit? Which is basically saying, should we end paper money? So I'm saying, really, because then you start seeing the real reason these events happen, because they weren't just some random person. No, these motherfuckers are stuck to a script. I don't care what you say. All the world's a stage.
So in other words, it's
player.
Yeah, pretty much bullshit as usual. The whole thing with listen, and I know I might be tripping over my words right now, but when it comes down to it, you hear about Alton Sterling.
Yeah.
You hear about Philando Castile, which absolutely rubs me the wrong way on so many different levels.
Yeah.
You hear, even going all the way back to Trayvon Martin, you hear all of these things.
Yeah.
And being a black man in America, I don't know where the hell they got this people of color shit, or, this whole, politically correct or politically nice term referring to black people, Latinos, Asians. They want to lump all of us in as people of color. No, this is primarily a black people in America issue that we're dealing with once again, cops shooting an unarmed black man, which, oh, by the way, if you get a chance to hear the autopsy report, the family had an independent autopsy done.
Puncture lung, right?
No.
What?
He was shot in the back.
Yeah, I heard it.
8 times.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. 7, let me get this correct. 7 shots went into his back. 1 went into his thigh.
Yeah, it's bloodless.
Okay, so
I heard 1 went through his lung. Is that not right?
Yeah. I didn't hear that part, but if they were saying it's in his upper back, yeah.
More than likely, right?
Yeah, more than likely. I guess, I mean, we can rehash the whole news story. I don't personally feel like it because it still irritates the fuck out of
Oh,
me.
yeah, it was said that the way he was shot and where he was shot, they approximated the time it took for him to die from 3 to 10 minutes. That is
And
3 to 10 minutes of fucking suffering.
yeah, and the cops didn't start doing any life saving measures until after 5 minutes.
Dig this. So here's the thing. I got a question for you. Not statements. I don't really want to make any more statements because I don't want nobody even like trying to.
Man,
We already getting pried into. But like my point being,
question.
yeah. Okay. What? I definitely don't believe in going after just taking out anger against cops. The question is, I personally believe I personally believe the retribution should come at on the heels of those particular people.
Okay, let me make this really clear. Okay, crystal clear for y'all dumbasses that love to take shit out of context. We do not condone violence against the police in retribution for anything. Now, with that said, the ones that are doing these killings, who are predominantly white males. Now, we've already went through the whole scenario of how basically you got former Klan members, sons of Klan members, nephews of Klan members, that sort of thing, being infiltrating law enforcement throughout this country. We've already had a discussion about that. Okay, so I guess we can finally, 100% without any doubt, come out and say that there is a systemic problem throughout this country of what's the word that I want to use? Implicit bias.
Here's the thing. That's always been the case. It takes TV for the people to act like it's something new. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes media to portray that as something new. You ask anybody in New York or LA, that's the norm. You know what I'm saying? Or even places like Miami. For cops to do that is the norm. Like all they did, the thing is the trauma of the situation, for the lack of a better term, becomes exaggerated when you put it on TV and everybody's like, I mean, how could we be taken aback? Like discriminatory practices have ever ended. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of violence. Come on.
Okay.
We ain't that far from. How far away are we from the guy that got tied to a pickup truck, drug for so many miles?
That's less than 10 years.
Those guys ain't been arrested. Those guys weren't arrested for that. How far are we from? I mean, my thing is, that type of corruption has never. It since the police system was established, and we were let out into the regular world from the, out from slavery, that type of discrimination has always existed on some level to some degree. Okay. So where are we getting like the notion that this all of a sudden? Here's the thing. There's my question. Like, that's one of my questions. Why is this a surprise?
Okay, well, here, let me stop you for a second. Don't take anything that I'm saying.
No. We're not. I'm not putting a debate to you. I'm just asking that question.
Right.
It's not argumentatively.
No. I know you weren't, but I mean, I guess because I want to make sure that people that are listening to this right now understand that as black men in this country, this is stuff that we've heard being passed down, from our fathers, our uncles, older brothers. We've heard of these things, okay? Many of us have experienced, you know, raw dealings, misdeeds, being perpetrated on us by law enforcement. We've seen this firsthand. Okay. So I just didn't want anybody to make the false assumption that I was coming at this in some sort of naive way. Because again, these are things that we've seen. Okay. Yeah. None of this is new to us. But just like you said, why is it now that it's taking television to actually make this an issue that you say, I'm shocked. And oh, by the way, on a slight tangent, did you hear about that officer in Minneapolis that is now on trial for third-degree murder? In the
Latino dude?
No, he's Ethiopian, I think he is.
Oh, word?
Yeah. He shot an unarmed woman. Yes, an unarmed white woman. And he's now on trial.
They're going to hang the black dude?
They're going to hang him. Here's
the thing. You have to edit. This here's the thing. Before I even make that statement, let's ask the question: is there really equality in terms of justice being served to people that perpetrate similar crimes?
Okay.
Because the other question is, what is the value of the black life as opposed to right? What is the severity of the crime perpetrated by a black person on a white person relative to the converse? If a white person perpetrated a similar crime on a black person or a non-white, why are those not treated the same? Let's see. So we have to understand that. Is the thing. Well, right. As opposed to maybe later we can deliver an answer or a viewpoint. But God willing, we get enough listeners. The question, any listener, the question is this a question to entertain. Not even it's not even for us to deliver our insight on the matter. I mean, this podcast is the platform for such. However, it is of utmost importance that people consider that and entertain that. The problem is these questions are not entertained on a large enough platform. Everybody is treated like a subject to be swept under the rug. But if the problem persists and or grows, then that question is going to have to be answered, because otherwise, one or two things happen. We hang around. I have white friends, but somewhere along the line, somebody is fucking lying to me about how they really feel about me. It's one thing to like me. It's another thing. Do you like me like a fucking pet, or do you like and respect me as another man, or as a person, even just a human being? If you just want to be straight up metaphysical about it. So everybody has to ask that question, because that problem doesn't just persist among the races. It persists within the demographics, because within these demographic, everybody holds some form of entitlement to whether it be family ties, organization ties, gang ties, economic ties. Okay. Everybody holds most people hold some form of entitlement that they think, or just strictly ego. When somebody says, "Man, I'm more deserving of the finer things in life. I'm deserving of a certain level of treatment. This person has no right to the good treatment I'm receiving, if that person receiving good treatment, or this person deserves nothing close to what I deserve in terms of good treatment, good jobs, whether women, prestige." You see what I'm saying? Because these attitudes bleed over. What happening is, many people, certain people have told me over the years, this is the day of judgment. But in the day of judgment, what's coming out is true colors are coming out, and people are feeling more for some reason because of this hostile environment. Not even on a racial level, just societally, the people are feeling more comfortable with loosening their belt and letting it, basically saying, that is to say, feeling more comfortable letting all their resentments hang on their sleeves and shoulders and just drip out.
Well, okay.
And they biases.
No, I get that, but I guess the one thing that is in my mind constantly, and I've even had an argument with somebody about this, okay, is that you know me. You know what I do for a living, okay? You know I do okay. I'm not a rich man by any stretch of the imagination, okay? But I do okay, all right? I get people that look at me and say, well, what are you worried about all this for? You got a good job. You're secure in your job.
Right.
You know, you got a decent car. You don't do nothing. You don't get into trouble. You don't commit no crimes or anything like that. But I also have to look at them and say, but I can't wake up white tomorrow morning. I just can't do it. Okay? Every morning that I wake up in this skin that I'm in. And I happen to love the skin that I'm in. Okay? Problem is, there are a lot of people on the face of this earth, in this country in particular, that don't like the skin I'm in for whatever reason. Even though I haven't done a single thing to you. Okay? I've treated you with basic human respect. Okay? But no, I have to realize that every morning I wake up, there is the potential for me to be a target and to be taken out as a target. And that really just doesn't sit well with me. It hasn't sit well with me for a long time, but to the point that I actually speak on it.
Yeah.
And then people have the nerve to want to basically just downplay and poo-poo whatever I say, because I happen to be one of those that just got lucky enough and was blessed just enough to be able to be in the right situation at the right time to get the job that I have.
Yeah.
But I'm still a target every single day.
Yeah, I don't want to make it like it's eternal hell. Like, I can't.
No, it's not eternal hell.
This guy came to bring some furniture to my brother's house the other day. I let him in, and he did something that he really, you're not supposed to do on the job. He propagated his social stance. That ain't your business to do on the job.
No.
But I let him roll. But it was also an indicator that there was some discomfort in what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like, and meaning there was something he held a resentment about. Maybe installing furniture at a black man's crib. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I have an idea. I'm not going to go too far into that just yet. But I don't know. I do not know how we went from Bengals. Conversation went from sports to societal issues. And before you know it, it started like, you know, people talking their stance on immigration and what people deserve, a chunk of the American pie. And I'm like, dude.
Okay, let me just throw this out at you. If you're not gonna say it, and I understand, I'll say it. This white dude came up in your crib, was delivering and installing furniture or whatnot, and he got to feeling a way about that. Like, oh, hey, these black folks, they got a nice house.
Like, he had an issue doing this shit for some nigga. Like, so, like, you know.
So fuck that.
But the point is, It ain't number one. It wasn't my crib. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but number two, it's like,
yeah,
you know.
But the point of it is that he just felt like he just had that opportunity to where he can get his shit off.
He wanted to vent, and in the moment, I agree with him partially on one matter. He felt like he had a platform to let the rest of the shit out. He had no platform to put any of that shit out. It's not your place to do that at the job. Like, you just don't do that. I was taught you don't sit there and advocate for no religion, no society, no political party on the fucking job unless you're working unless you're part of somebody's campaign. You know what I'm saying? That's different.
Right.
Excuse me. But man, that was serious about. But like, that's just like, it's unfair and it's stupid. You know, and then you started going off on the right to bear arms shit. And I'm like, dude, I don't care left or right. Like, I mean, you want to start having a gun talk? I'm not going to give you that anyway. Why do I want you to peer into my mind so you can see where I'm at anyway? I mean, if you try to
engage you.
Yeah, but if you gauging me, that means like you trying to determine whether you want to like call me out on some shit one day or try to punk me out. Like, I don't even want to give you the opportunity to find a window. Like, you trying to figure where I'm at in case you run into me again or in case you want to decide to storm through my brother and cause some havoc. I mean, all you need to know this much, like, it ain't gonna be an easy rumble. But like, that's all you need to know. Like, but like, that needs not. I don't care who you are. People do not respect the institutions that for whom they hold employment, because don't fuck up nobody's business. The person, I'm not even gonna name who the dude worked for, but I'm saying, you don't fuck up that company's business throwing your. I don't care who the fuck I am. I don't care if I was Huey P. Newton. You had to come in here to Black Panthers everywhere and every black political leader poster on the wall. It ain't your business to soak that shit up anyway. If it disturbs you, oh well. Close your fucking eyes or don't do it. But you ain't gonna sit here and just start ranting. It ain't your business. I entertained him. That's probably not cool on my part. But the point is, whether or not, whatever I do, I'm the fucking customer's brother. Like, I came here to oversee what the fuck you're doing. I didn't come here to watch you take a fucking soapbox.
But therein lies the problem. Because you're just there, quote unquote, you just said it, overseeing what he's doing.
I was an overseer.
Yeah, you was a goddamn overseer.
But
yeah. It's just funny that you had brought up how he was saying, getting to the gun debate.
I didn't have no debate because I agreed on that end. But fuckery, like,
no, it was a setup. It was a setup in his own mind.
Yeah,
But I'm telling you, don't get in that gun debate with me. Just don't do it. Okay, yeah. But a lot of people do what a lot of people do, and obviously that guy felt like he could get that shit off with you.
Yeah.
And therein lies the whole problem. I guess society as a whole, we can take race, set it off to the side. We can take some kind of social status in certain aspects. You can take that and set that off to the side as well. Yeah. Society is in a state where a set of people feel like they got a problem with another set of people, whether it be racially, class, gender, whatever. They have a problem with them because it interferes with their historical dominance throughout generations.
It's a fucked up part. Anybody really knew a black person, particularly any person knew non-whites. Most non-whites only have issues with other non-whites. I hardly ever Even the motherfuckers sit there and pitch a fit about white motherfuckers. Excuse the language to any white homies listening in. But anybody that has that issue is they simply keep it in the area of complaint. If you meet anybody that takes it out there and suddenly lashes out against a bunch of white folks, believe me, that shit was scripted. And it's probably a politician that's going to campaign behind that behind that fiasco. Like, believe me, like, it's just fucked up that I'm telling you, I will hold this belief. The higher ups, if they're not scripting these events, they are exploiting them. They're exploiting them to justify some bullshit that's about to go down. Because in a moment, people are not going to have the voting right, or they're not even going to have the right to petition against some of the shit that's about to go down. Like, so freedoms are going to be taken away no matter what your opinion is. So I definitely don't agree. I agree with gun control from one aspect. Like somebody said the other day, we just need to make the path to certify. We need to really impose harsher laws and make sure that people who have guns are certified. We maybe need to really go on a campaign hardcore to encourage people who want to have a gun to certify. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I know a lot of people, and I understand this too, out of fear of what might be done in the near future, some people don't want to advertise the fact they have a gun because unfortunately sometimes, in some cases, having a gun will attract other guns to you.
Okay.
In some cases, it's an air about a person who is secure, but that don't mean that people without them ain't gonna face the same fate. I'm simply saying, as long as people you go down south. Like I've been in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta at this club. Not everybody's been there, but I'm saying I went to this one club. I forgot which one. It was cool. I go in a parking lot, and I really want to try to peek into people motherfuckers' cars. You know what I mean, motherfuckers that they strap on the dash or in the seat.
Oh yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
That particular night, I can't speak for regularly, but if you got a carload of shit where everybody got pieces, then there's usually peace because don't nobody really want that. They just want to be protected against that.
Exactly.
So that's what was dope. That night was live. Only motherfuckers acting up was the weird looking women. No, I'm playing. But they was weird, but not weird looking. Well,
Well,
and
okay. Let me,
I'm sorry if I reran.
No.
It's the Stella.
No, yeah. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. But at any rate, yeah, Stella Artois, we would certainly love for you to sponsor our low podcast.
No, we don't. We're not drink champs.
No, we're not drink champs, but we sure do love drinking Stella.
I am not a champion because my tolerance is seriously low, people.
Stop it.
Dirty people.
So is mine. But let me get back to something real quick. You just brought up how people may or may not want to advertise the fact that they have guns, in their houses or on their persons or anything like that. Okay. Yeah. Do you know the history behind that?
Talk to me.
Okay. I only know bits and pieces of it, but I know it does have something to do with Adolf Hitler, Germany, in 1939. And here's what I do know.
Oh, that was a gun ban then, wasn't it?
In Germany, in Germany, they had the right to have guns. Oh. But the problem is that they had to register them with the government.
And if they knew you was on that list, they's gonna come in storming. I mean, they was coming in shooting to kill.
No. Because right before World War II broke out, Hitler had this list, crude ass form of database, had this list of all the people in Germany that owned guns. And when World War II was looking really imminent, Hitler went to all of those people on that list and confiscated their guns.
Yeah.
That,
but see,
and
here
that
though,
right there, but that right there,
yeah,
I understand why people don't want at least that particular form of gun control. But the whole idea of gun control has been bastardized and has been twisted to mean something totally different than what gun control really
well, see,
was.
here's another thing. Some real shit. Here's other scary shit is some of the things have been suggested, in terms of, policing violent areas. One thing that was been suggested is getting assistance from, gathering assistance from, UN police forces. That, or it was either UN or NATO. That shit is going to turn things topsy-turvy.
You know,
because if that were to come into effect, if any form of militarization comes into effect, motherfuckers ain't going to just take your shit. Because if regular cops is laying motherfuckers down and that ain't got shit, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but I know you're not overlooking this fact, but you do realize what the whole idea of gun control was about, right?
Talk to me.
1963 or 1965, I can't remember the date off the top of my head. The Black Panther Party.
San Francisco, you talk relative to them patrolling with they displaying their right to bear arms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's white dudes. I see this Russian dude where I stay.
Right.
He rocking the thing with the
AK-47.
Nah, he rocking the handgun with the attachment that they say makes your handgun
the bump stock
legal to display openly, even without a CCW, as long as you have that shit.
Oh, listen, I can take mine out, and have it sitting right here, and it's 100% legal. But that's not the point that I'm making.
No, I'm talking about outside. He was walking with it outside.
It's just a particular type of holster.
Nah, it's that long attachment. That long attachment where it helps
stock.
you.
Yeah, it's an actual stock.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
you attach it to there. Yeah, it makes it illegal.
But the whole point of it is that, like I said, gun control was not what you hear on the TV.
Yeah,
gun control originated back in the mid-'60s. Yeah. Because they didn't want black people to be able to defend themselves against the police. Okay?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I don't want any type of gun control whatsoever in that sense.
Yeah.
However, I do realize that there are certain things that can be done to prevent to prevent some types of firearms getting into the hands of the people that least need to have a gun in their hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Including children.
Yes, I get that.
And people that, it's, what? It is so hard to properly qualify who is mentally capable. Because certain situations can drive people into moments of clarity, and in those same situations can take people's clarity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
right.
You ready to switch our subject matter? Because this is, I'm getting hot over this shit.
Well, listen, just to put a bow on that particular thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the first to reiterate. I'm no fan of gun control because, again, the minute you tell me gun control in any form, the first thing I'm thinking about is it something that's going to prevent you, me, my neighbor, my family member from being able to defend themselves when shit gets really stupid.
Well,
if that's what you're trying to do, no, I'm not with that.
Okay, see, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
This is my last statement. My final statement is this. Once again, it is important for all of us to look at the underlying statements when this matter is brought up, and when these different incidences with school shootings and cop shootings is brought to the forefront. The underlying statement is, think about this. In one way, the shootings are almost saying these type motherfuckers need to be checked.
Exactly.
But that's what the school shootings are saying. That the police shootings are saying, what you gonna do? Is this what I'm saying? Because usually in the gang world, a show of force is to put people in check to the point where they're scared to do anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Their activity, you are making them most of the time, ultra obedient. If you keep them in a state of fear, some people ain't even going to be so quick to pull out their gun because they don't know what the fuck is going to happen afterwards. And then some motherfuckers, there'll be some, but if you just pick a day to show fear. Now, those cops got off. Now, who's going to really try to fuck with them? They go back out. I'm not saying ain't nobody brave enough, but some reason black dudes only seem to be vindictive in those situations toward other black dudes. If that had been a black gang member that did that, it would be a gang war. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the fact that it's a cop with a uniform that states a certain position of authority that's connected to a government system and also a military system, sometimes some people consider that, some people don't. This generation surprises me because I thought, and not that I want them to be more warrior-like in the instance of just doing senseless acts of violence. However, it's strange because of how bold these newer generations come off. They're awfully docile in these situations. There's no backlash on the level that you would think. It's just an increase in black-on-black violence. Now, I'm not saying to take your shit out. I'm simply saying it's just, you have to wonder what type of check a motherfucker's in. But my final statement really wasn't that. My final statement is this. The big underlying statement to all this shit is that these motherfuckers are preparing for some shit that nobody's gonna have a voice in. You know what I'm saying? And they're preparing to mobilize. It's not conspiracy shit. Read it. I don't need, man, nigga, if a motherfucker came to my part of town and randomly went to different motherfuckers' houses and beat the shit out of motherfuckers, and then I'm seeing them down the block making their way up, randomly picking motherfuckers' houses, what do I have to assume? That it could be me next. Or if it ain't me, they making sure they ain't gonna do it within a proper range for me to observe, so I have a decision to make whether I want to come at these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Now, some motherfuckers be like, fuck that. You ain't gonna do that, do me like that. And that probably be the motherfucker that they make sure they use to prove a point. So then I gotta think, damn, that's a tough thing on the block. They just laid this motherfucker down. You know what I'm saying? So now I got a decision to make.
Right.
Now the decision is stand up to this and be another example, or shut the fuck up and hope that these motherfuckers don't come to my crib. Now, that's a fucked up situation to be in. Almost a catch-22, which to me would imply that you might as well scrap it out. You know what I'm saying?
Well.
But it seems that most people in today's world are very docile when it comes to that. They fight amongst each other, but they don't want no trouble on that level. Now, I'm not saying to make trouble on that level. I am saying that no matter what you do, it seems like peace or violence don't fucking matter. They're coming to mobilize to put people in serious check. The question is, What are the motives, and what is the out? What are the eventual outcomes? We have to weigh that shit.
And I'm going to give you the third question.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
There's only one.
Whether you do any, whether you decide to do anything about it or not, that's y'all particular answer.
But the next question, you just see the next question comes out of that. See, what we talked about earlier while we were at Roosters is, I think we should say this for another time because I always wondered, when the first time I had a conversation about equality to with a white friend or a non-friend, just person period, that was well, I feel like this. The first time I had a conversation with a white dude and we talk about equality, they start spitting out like my viewpoints. They start like regard my viewpoints as communists, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why? You know what I'm saying? So now, without looking up the definition, I could tell you two things. In English class, we learned about suffixes and prefixes. We learned about certain parts of words that are used commonly in other words. And when I look at the COMMUN part of communism, I find that same part in the word community.
Mm-hmm.
So now, without reading the definition, you would think community and communism are relative terms. But now, if that is the case, then the idea of looking at everybody as one community is communistic. So for somebody, because somebody tell me I'm a communist, I'm not saying I am. I am saying that if it has any relation to the term community at its root, then you're telling me I'm pro-community. Just without, I'm just
no.
This is just base level. This is me gathering my own thoughts from what I know without knowing that definition.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me throw one last thing at you.
Yeah.
Okay. Since you bring up the word communist,
yeah,
and the commune part of communist,
yeah,
can we all be honest and think about this one small fact that you have, and I'm just only using these as examples. I'm not trying to make no overlying point. Yeah. You have predominantly white communities or completely white communities that interact with themselves, that go to the same stores, go to the same churches, eat at the same restaurants, talk to each other, help their neighbors and things like that. Has anybody ever thought to tell them particular white folks that you are living in a communist style community?
Well, yeah. Well, see, I was taught, communism and socialism, two relative terms. Mm-hmm. I was taught, to be socialist is to advocate a society of men or groups of men for one common cause. If you come into an area and say, hey, you get a few friends to help you set up the right petitioning and whatnot to establish a township, by which you can reach out to different stores and say, hey, we're setting aside this area for township. Well, you have greater control of who comes in to that township. Okay. And you definitely have control where that money goes after you done petition some stores to set up shop. Right. With the promise on behalf of those stores of their business growing. Because now it's clean business growing. You can also give the promise that, hey, it's gonna be less crime. You're gonna have more people that can afford your shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And in return, some of your money is gonna fund our schools. and I'm saying other ventures. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Okay, AKA Fair Township, Liberty Township, Westchester Township. Might be a couple niggas moving in, but we got an eye on them. And usually they going to be within a certain bracket. So they'll be contributing as well. And most of the time they ain't going to want no riffraff themselves, which is why they want to be around us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I personally think we should extend this to another.
Yeah.
But,
yes, we are.
Because, I say that because the reason I even brought it up is the answer. Community is the answer. See what I'm saying? What you going to do about it? The question is, if it ain't together, we're fucked. See what I'm saying? Now, that's where people have to kind of let down their fucking hangups.
That's facts.
This is why, we had a discussion earlier in regards to all these different divisions. Divisions have been set up. You keep people in conflict, then motherfuckers can't see eye to eye on coming together toward bigger problems.
That's facts.
So if I keep gay and straight in conflict, black and white in conflict, Muslim and Christian in conflict, you know what I'm saying? When at the end, man, we all got certain beliefs that we all agree on that but never discuss. Well, I don't believe in rape. I don't believe in child molestation. I don't believe in unjust murder. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I get you.
I believe in a certain set of morals. Like, man, look, gay and straight, if we keep things, man, on a respectable level, because, you know what I'm saying, to where we are functional. You do your thing, but, and don't, we do our thing. I can't sit there. Our only rules is don't violate me. And don't sit there and don't try to make me feel uncomfortable. I won't sit there and have my straight parties make you feel uncomfortable in return. I won't sit here and just have fucking Juma prayer in front of your church. You know what I'm saying? Like different things like that. We start respecting those boundaries. We could still be, I don't have to, man, whatever my hang up with you is not more important than we got to take a stance against motherfuckers mobilizing on us and taking real freedoms away from us. That should be the next topic.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called basic human respect.
Yeah.
And we're out. You know how to get in touch with us. I'm at Beretta Beats, all one word, 2 T's in Beretta, of course, on Instagram and on Twitter. Where are you at?
I don't know. At Kareed, K-R-E-I-D 71 is the Twitter. And same thing for Instagram. And we'll leave it at those two because I'm not really Facebook sucks.
Don't nobody fuck with Facebook. Look, I'm gonna just do like this, okay? And we out. I'm gonna do like Rihanna. I'm gonna do like Kylie Jenner. Fuck Facebook.
Okay, word. What he said.